The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. Add eGiving to your website and integrate it with Church360 members. My name is Louis Frank. I'll be the host of today's event, and I will flip on my webcam here so that you can see that I'm coming to you from lovely Bloomington, Minnesota, where we're having a lovely, almost summer day, I would say. Nice sun is out, and hopefully wherever you are located that you're having some nice weather here as well. So really like to just say hi and welcome everyone for attending. I have a few housekeeping items before we jump into today's content. First, everyone is in listen-only mode. We have a number of attendees on today, and we want to make sure that everyone has clear audio and that we're eliminating as much background noise as possible. But that does not mean we don't want your participation. We highly encourage you to submit your questions at any point during the presentation, and we will ask as well as answer those questions at the end. Also, we are recording today's presentation. So if you do want to watch it again or share with any other coworkers, we'll be sending you out an email after today's event so that you can do that. So be on the lookout for a follow-up link from us. And then also we have poll questions in our event today. One way that we try to make our webinars as engaging as possible, obviously video is one way. Poll questions is another one. Being an online event, really hard to see of your peers who else is joining you today. So we like to facilitate that through poll questions and then share out those responses so you can see who else is joining you. So when those pop up, it'd be great if you could interact with that. And well, like I said, we'll share those out so you can see who else is joining. So those are really the majority of the poll questions that we have, or the housekeeping items that we have. I want to take you through the agenda. You can see it's pretty straightforward. I'll give a formal introduction to our featured presenter, Peter Frank, and he'll be taking us through some great technology today. Like I said, we'll ask that audience poll question to learn more about you. And then Peter will take us through Church360 Unite, sort of that website builder platform, how you can have integrated electronic giving with GivePlus powered by Vanco, and then how that can all tie together within your Church360 platform. And like I said, we'll be facilitating questions and answers at the end, so do not hesitate to ask your questions. All right, now to give a formal introduction to Peter Frank. If you've attended any of the Concordia Technology Solutions webinars, you're probably very familiar with him. If you haven't, I highly encourage you to sign up for some that come through your inbox or that are on their website, because Peter is not only a fantastic resource to talk about the technology at Concordia, but he's also a vice president and elder at Salem Lutheran Church, and he has really not only invested in that church, but really invested in churches and has a great understanding of operational efficiency, sort of the challenges at the church, and really has a comprehensive view of the church's needs as it relates to not just technology, but as a whole, and really telling that whole story. And Peter is the senior manager of marketing at Concordia. So Peter, thank you so much for joining today. I'm excited to dive into the event.
Thanks for having me, Louis. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we want to learn more about you, which is our first poll question, which is, what is your role within the church that you represent? And we have a few choices here. We have pastor, we have lay leader, which we've classified as deacon, elder, church council member, other, and then we have treasurer, finance committee member, and then we have office support, which we've classified, administrator, office manager, and then other. And if it's other, feel free to chat that in. Again, we love learning about who is joining us on today's presentation. So if you want to chat that in, that would be great. And I'll leave that open for about 5 more seconds or so as we wait for the majority of our audience to fill that out. Great, looks like we got a couple last ones coming in. 3, 2, 1. Awesome, close that out and share out those results. So we have 33% that say other. That's really interesting. Again, chat that in. We'd love to learn what your role within the church is. Then we have 22% for the 3 other categories: lay leader, treasurer, finance committee member, as well as office support. So Peter, a really nice mix of who is joining us today, which I think is really interesting. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
All right, so Peter, I will pass formally the mic over to you and pass presentation control over to you.
All right, well, thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate it, and thank you to all of you who have joined us today. As Louis mentioned, it is a passion of mine to help churches or church workers leverage technology in their ministry. And that's what we at Concordia Technology Solutions are all about. We provide software solutions for churches, but we also provide a lot of other training on terms of how to use the tools that are out there, whether it is social media or platforms like Microsoft Excel, one of my favorites, and the things that church workers use on a regular basis that will help them become more efficient so that they can focus their time and energy on sharing the gospel. Now, one of the barriers to that is that technology can be hard to learn. I mean, it's constantly changing, and it's changing very, very quickly. And so as you have these tools, just when you learn one, then another one comes out that can help you too. And one of the most challenging parts of that is leveraging them together. How do you use these tools together? And so we've got a lot to cover today. We're going to be looking at 3 very different technologies and how they work together to introduce eGiving to your congregation and post it on your website and keep track of that for your members for giving statements and being able to apply to your total offerings to see where your funds are coming in and all of that. So it can be a challenge, and I hope to make this simple for you today. It's not that difficult, but having somebody walking alongside you will help. Now, we're going to start today by looking at a church website using our church website builder, Church360 Unite. Now, when we invited you to attend, we kind of cast a wide net for our different audiences. And so we reached out to people who are using Church360 members, who are considering using that, who are using Church360 Unite, who are considering using that, who are using Vanco payment solutions with GivePlus, and then others who just are interested in using technology in their ministry and learning more. So we've got a very eclectic group here today, which is good. So if I cover some things in basic detail with Unite or members, it's because some of you may not be familiar with this, but the basic principles that we're going to go through with adding eGiving to your website can really be applied to any website platform. Vanco makes it really easy to embed GivePlus on your website, and so we'll show you how to do that in Church360 Unite, but you can take that if you're not using Unite yet and go and do it on your website right now, whatever the platform you're using. If it's a harder to use platform, you may need to get your web person in there to help. But we're going to show you a way that's really easy to do that. So this example church that I have on my screen is Resurrection Lutheran Church in the fictional Bakersville, Missouri. So there's no real names or anything showing. It's a demo site that we use. And like I mentioned before, we use Church360 Unite. This is our website builder provided by Concordia Technology Solutions that is part of the Church360 suite. And you can see there's that demo site right there in our examples on that front page. So what Church360 Unite allows you to do is build a website from the ground up using templates, but being able to customize it to meet your needs. And one of the key things that's exciting about Unite is that you can allow your members to log in and participate in different groups, view the church calendar, a member directory, and view pages that may not be public. So if you want to have different messaging for your members than your visitors, you can do that through Unite. And so we'll show you some of that today. But we're going to start out at the basics. Let's say you have just signed up with Vanco for GivePlus. You are ready to announce it to your congregation. How do you add it to your website? Well, let's go through that process. And first thing I'm going to do is sign in. And I'm going to sign in as an administrator. So we'll log right in there. And the administrator toolbar is going to come up to the top. Now, we've got a number of different things. We'll take a look at a little bit of that later on. Where we're really going to focus our attention today is pages. So the first step is to add a basic giving page to your website that tells people how they can give electronically. So I'm going to click on Pages, and this is going to show me active menu items and available menu items. And so the active menu is what shows up here in the navigation. And I encourage people, at least as they're starting off with electronic giving in your congregation, to have a giving page on your site and make it readily available. You want to make it easy for people to know where to go to give. So that's what we're going to do. We'll click Pages, and I'll go up to the top and click Add Page. And we've got several different options here, a blank page, feeds page, group pages. We're not going to get into all of that today. There's a lot of value in those, but we want just a basic plain page. So I'm going to create a page there, and I'm going to type in giving. And that's it. I've created a page, and now it is an available menu item, and it's marked as draft. And that's an important thing to remember too. As you're beginning to introduce electronic giving into your congregation, you want to be ready to go at the beginning and have a nice big announcements, letting everybody know this is now readily available for you to use. So get that prepared ahead of time, keep it in draft status, and then on the day that you launch it with everybody, turn it active. All right, so we will drag that down and add it, and we're going to add it as a primary tier in that menu. So you can see you can go underneath a category and have that be part of the drop-down. We're going to keep that as a primary focus. I'm going to click Save Changes and show where that is. So we'll X out of that. So now that's been added to our menu right away. So I'll click Giving, and it's a very basic page. All it says is Giving, nothing too exciting. All right, we are still in draft mode, so that's okay. On the left-hand side here, we have a little button that says Edit Page. Now, this is only available to administrators or those with the right to edit page. So I'll click that button there, and it'll kind of open up the page for me to edit. Now, on the left-hand side, there's some primary settings like the layout, the status. This is where we can go to publish it. The URL, the title, the meta description, all of that has to do with search engine optimization. And we're not going to get into that today because the primary focus for today is adding that tool that allows people to give. We can talk about getting people to your website another day. All right, so I have already prepared some copy using the Vanco Marketing Center that helps churches communicate electronic giving to their congregation. So I'll paste that in here. Enjoy the convenience of electronic giving. Now, what I have done is the last line here says, use the form below to set up an automatic donation plan or make a one-time donation to Resurrection Lutheran Church. That's what I'm going to show next. But first, let's go ahead and save this. Now, in Church360 Unite, we have what's called a Wysiwyg Editor. What you see is what you get. It should feel very familiar to you. It should be just like your email. So you can go and change copies so that it's bold if you wanted. You can center it. You can add links really easily. And the links are the way that you used to do that with electronic giving, where you would put a page like this and put a big bold link at the bottom that says give electronically. And we would, again, make it very noticeable. So you'd make that like an H2, and then you'd add the link to your page. We can still do that if you want, but there's a better way now using GivePlus. So I'm going to back out of that. We're going to save that space there because we're going to come back to it. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I've prepared my website for everything except the giving part of it. And that's where I'm going to go over to Vanco's login here. And we're using their test system that'll look exactly like yours. So we'll click Login. And this will take us to the main page. Now, where we want to go first is go under Admin and click that. And then under Company Profile, we're going to go to GivePlus Settings. Now, GivePlus is the e-giving product that Vanco has, and Louis is going to talk about this in more detail, all the different ways you can use GivePlus to offer options for your members to give to your church. What we're looking at right now is the embed for the website, the GivePlus Online Embed. And so I'm going to maximize this screen. What this GivePlus screen allows you to do is get everything set up for both your online embed and also your kiosk, which is an option there. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to change my background color here because that's for the kiosk, and I don't like it looking so bad like that. There we go. All right, so what I want to do is toggle this over here to, in fact, let me show you what it looks like when you start. We're going to restore the client. Actually, we started to my original setting. Well, that's good. I didn't lose that. So we'll just go back, put all that in as white, and put all that in as white. Save that. Okay, so you can toggle between your online embed and your Kiosk. And this is the online embed is what we're going to put on our website. Now, just a reminder, you can put this on any website that you manage. It doesn't have to be Church360 Unite, but we're using Unite because it's so simple to do. All right, so I've got my church name in there, Resurrection Lutheran Church. I can customize the message, so thank you for your offering to Resurrection Lutheran Church. And then I can change the button colors. Now, within Church360 Unite, we mentioned before we've got more tools up at the top here for the admin bar. So under themes, this is the look and appearance of your site. And so we're using the material theme, and we've got our set colors in place. I'm going to go with this header color so that kind of matches, so that the navigation is big and bold, and the header color is really the primary color we use at Resurrection Lutheran Church in this fictional situation here. So I'm going to go back to my GivePlus settings, and we're going to paste that in here under button colors. There we go. So it's that little bit bluish gray color. I like that a lot. All right, so we'll save that. So now I've customized it to match my branding, and the next step is to embed it. That seems so simple, and this is the part that can actually be a little scary, because even though it's a real simple process, as soon as we go over here to GivePlus Online Embed, you're dealing with code, and that is what scares people. And I know there's many people that as soon as they get to this point, and it may not be on GivePlus, it might be on sharing the YouTube video of your pastor's sermon on your website, and all of a sudden you're seeing code and you don't want to touch it. Well, let me let you know that it's not that scary. All you have to do is click copy source, and that'll put it on your clipboard so that you can paste it elsewhere. And that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to switch back to Unite, toggle my screen over. I already got my color code, so I'll back out of that. I'm back on my giving page, and I'm going to click edit page here once again. And I'm going to put my cursor exactly where I want to embed it. And in the Wysiwyg Editor, you can add images, you can add audio, you can add video. Next to that is this little thing that looks like code. It's actually the Unite logo, because Unite does the code for you. And that's what we're going to do here. Is when you hover over, it says Embed Media, and we'll click on that and paste the code here. So we already copied it to our clipboard. We'll just paste the code and click OK. Now, what this code is an iframe code. And iframes, if you are not familiar with that, which I'm guessing if you're not a web designer, you're not familiar with iframes. Iframes put a window to another website on your website. And so you see exactly what's on that other website, but all of the processing happens within that secondary website. And so that's what's happening here as we are embedding that code. So you can see what it looks like. It's exactly what we had in the other page. So I'm going to click Save, and then I'm going to close my edit page. And sometimes as I'm streaming live, there's too much going on my computer. It takes a second, but there we go. We've got that saved. Now, you can see what this looks like. It's part of your website. It looks like your website because you've used your branding, your colors on the website. But this is actually going to Vanco's site. And you can see down here in the lower right, secure SSL encryption. That means that anybody who processes their credit card through here is processing through the highest levels of security. There's a lot of fear of doing online transactions. Well, this kind of security is the same thing that the banks use, that all the big e-commerce sites use. So you can have confidence that it's going to be safe, and your members can have confidence that it's going to be safe. All right, so what I want to do is, I'm logged in as admin. I'm going to sign out of this site right now. I'm going to go up here, click sign out, so that you can get a good view of what this looks like. And so actually, I should have done one thing before I signed out. We still had that page as draft. Let me sign back in and publish it so that people in the outside world can see it. All right, hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, see, now it's showing up for me again because I'm logged in. So I'll go here to edit page. And we'll wait a second for that to load. Because it's using the iframe, it's loading 2 pages at once. So we'll go here, we'll click publish, I'll save that. Close out of edit page, and then I'll sign out again. Isn't that great how quick that is, though? I'm in draft, just change it to publish, I'm ready to go. And now let's sign out so we can get the view that everybody can see. All right, there we go. So now I'm back to the home page and my giving link shows up. So I'll click giving, and there we go. So this is what members will see when they go to the website and they click on giving, and it takes them here now. Now, this form is really straightforward. If you've ever gone through a shopping cart process on a website, you'll see that this is simpler than that. So the first thing we do is select the fund. Now, we only have one fund here, but you can use Vanco to easily manage the funds and show what's going to be displayed. And I'll go back to that in a second and show you how to do that. But we're going to click on the general fund right now. All right, there's general fund. And we're going to do a one-time transaction. That's a little bit quicker. I will talk about the recurring gifts in just a moment. So we're going to do one-time transaction. I'm going to do $25 here, add that donation, and it shows up in my list of donations there, kind of like a shopping cart, but it's simpler than that. And I'm just going to click next. And now it goes into the payment screen. I'm not going to another site. My whole page isn't reloaded. It's staying right there. Now I'll pre-populate, my browser pre-populates my address and everything, but I'll enter in my credit card number, debit card number. In this case, this is my test number provided by Vanco. So don't worry, I'm not giving away my credit card number online here. I don't encourage you to try to use this at a store. I don't think they'd be too happy. All right, we're going to go here to that. And so I enter that in. Now you can pay by checking or savings account as well. Those instructions are down there, but we're going to stick with this card. And I'm going to click next. And it's going to give me one last chance to review everything, make sure it's good. I can email the receipt to myself if I'd like by checking that box. And I click donate now. And it processes. And as soon as it's done, like that, there you go. It's all set. So I get a confirmation number and everything, but it is done. That's how simple. So I'm at 122 now. So that means that even with the introduction, everything, it took me less than 22 minutes to add eGiving to my website. It's that quick. Now let's go into this in a little bit more in depth. We mentioned before that you can have the recurring gift. Now, in order to do that, your givers will have to sign in or create an account. So I'll click sign in. I'll put in my email and hope I remember my password. Otherwise, I can use the forgot my password tool, but I don't want to make you guys watch that. All right, so I'm logged in. So now I can go to General Fund, and I can go to one-time, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. I set mine up as weekly, and I'm going to start it up starting next Monday. All right, and then let's say we'll do the $30 this time, just to keep it different. So I had a $30 general fund every week, and then we'll click next. And it has remembered my card from the last payment I gave, not the one time. I've been testing this out, so it does store that. But that's really handy because if somebody's making a regular payment to a regular donation to the general fund, and then you want to ask them to contribute to a special fund, it's really easy for them to do. So we'll click next. It's all ready to go. Click donate now, and then I'm ready to go. It recurringly has that transaction. So again, that's really easy. Those two different options. Now, this is for a regular giving plan, a regular giving site, I should say. This is like the one-stop shop. If you want to donate to Resurrection Lutheran Church, go to this giving. Now, we know, and in fact, the video that we did this earlier this morning at CTS was about storytelling. We understand that telling the story, we have the greatest story ever told in the gospel. We in the church get to tell the story of how Christ is working through us to reach his people. And so sometimes the way that that happens is through the gifts that people give. And a perfect example of this is Vacation Bible School. So I'm going to sign in as I'm talking about this. Vacation Bible School is a fantastic ministry, a fantastic outreach opportunity for a church. But usually it's done during the week, during the mornings when lots of people work. I haven't been able to participate in VBS at my church for several years because of that. But there's other ways you can participate besides being a volunteer. Now with Church360 Unite, I mentioned this before, you can have your public-facing site and then your private pages. And that allows you to customize the message. So VBS, you definitely want to have a page on your site where you are encouraging people to register their kids and join that great event. But you're also wanting to tell the story of VBS to your members and ask them to get involved, whether that's through their time and talents or their treasures. And so let's take a look at that. If we go up to Pages and we go down to Vacation Bible School here under Ministries, that is a members only page. And so that means that you have to be logged into the site in order to be able to see this, which with Church360 Unite, you'll want to invite all your members to have a login to the site. So we're going to click Vacation Bible School here. It's going to take me to the Splash Canyon site. So volunteers needed for Vacation Bible School gives the details on how you can volunteer. Well, what if we took that a step farther and say, okay, maybe you can't volunteer, but would you like to support Vacation Bible School? So I will click Edit Page, and I'll go down to the bottom here, and I've already written this out so you guys don't have to watch me type it in. And would you like to support Vacation Bible School? Please share a donation. Now, we could do it where we link on here and go to the giving page, but wouldn't it be much more effective to give people the option to contribute to Vacation Bible School right below? So I'm going to create a space for that. I'm going to save this right now and go back into Vanco. All right, so this is my GivePlus settings page. I'm going to close out of that for a second, and I'm going to go back under to the administration. And we're going to go to credit, debit, e-check. Actually, I think pardon me, I'm going back to the wrong spot. Go to admin, and then company profile. Right above GivePlus settings is manage funds. And this is where we can go and add in other funds. So up here on GivePlus Online, Vacation Bible School's down there. It's currently set to no. I'm going to click edit. And up here on GivePlus Online. You could also set it for the default. So we'll do that. We'll click Save. All right. Now, let's go back to our company profile GivePlus settings. And we'll maximize that. I'm going to go to my GivePlus Online Embed, that same place I went before, copy the source code again, goes to my clipboard, go back to our website here, Vacation Bible School down below, and use that Embed Media button again. And once again, I'm just pasting that code. If you don't know about the code, don't worry about it. It is doing exactly what you need it to do. And we'll click OK. And that'll load. I'm going to click Save as soon as the page is done loading. All right, we'll give that just a second. There we go. All right, we'll save that. And then we'll go and close out Edit Page. All right, now that is a members only page, and I'm logged in as a member. So now, right within our VBS page, we have an opportunity to donate. And the fund will take a little while to show up, but Vacation Bible School will come up as an available fund there that you can donate to right from the Vacation Bible School page. So that really puts that giving in part of the ministry context to say, let's do this together. Let's not have to go digging to find how to donate. Let's make it real easy for people to just get in there and contribute to Vacation Bible School. All right, so that's the first part of this process. That shows how easy it is to add electronic giving to your website. Now the next step is, all right, well, we've got all these electronic gifts coming in. How do I apply that to my members' records so that I can give giving statements at the end of the quarter or the end of the year, depending on how your church does that? Well, that's where Church360 Members comes in. And I know most of you are using Church360 Members or considering using that, but you may not have integrated it with GivePlus yet. So that's where we're going next. So if we switch over to this tab here, this will look really familiar to you. This is Church360 Members. This is my demo site. I don't have pictures loaded for all the people right now, but what I really want to emphasize is this integration. So as people contribute, their offerings are coming in here under offerings. And let me zoom in a tad, because once I show a lot of data on the screen, it's a little hard to see from where you're sitting. So if an offering comes in electronically, it'll show up here, and you can just click this electronic tab here that'll filter all the gifts that are given electronically. That shows right there, and there's, you can see my test transactions from before. We also have Dave Abbott, Sally Baxter. Now, when you see the names all in bold, that tells you that these are not linked to those people yet. Now, that may not be the best way to remember, which is why we have these little notifications up here. And it says you have 7 unmatched givers and 1 new unmatched fund. That's a better notification. That's why we put the little bell up there, put the dot on so you recognize it. And then you can go and match those directly. We're going to take a step back and just go straight to the Vanco integration page. So you would click on the settings cog up in the top right. It's that middle icon. Go all the way down to Vanco integration. Now, if you have been on this screen before, it might look a little different to you. If you haven't been on this screen before, that's great. Now's a good time to do that. Now, with Vanco's integration, we've recently added so you can have multiple accounts linked to your Church360 members account, and it's really easy to do. So the first thing you do is you click your start date. And you may wonder, well, why would we have a different start date? If you have been entering these transactions in by hand, if you, let's say you've been a Vanco customer for a little while and you've started and now you're setting up the integration, you want to say, when was the last day I entered these in? Let's start after that, because you don't want to double up on those offerings. But if you're brand new to it, just pick today's date. Then you're going to put in your client ID and your user ID and your password. Now, I've already put mine in down here. I've only got one account, so this is my test account. And if you don't have that, just reach out to Vanco and they will provide that information. It's not the same login information that you would use to log into your My Vanco site. It's different, but they can provide that for you. And then you can mark whether you want that active or not. So maybe you've switched accounts and you're just doing the give by text. You can turn that off. Don't worry too much about that. There's not that much. It's not that important. That's just how you stop that. But yeah, the most important part is the client ID, the user ID, the password, and then it'll tell you the last synced date, which helps you know, is this coming in? So there is a little bit of a delay as the transaction is processed, so it may not come over right away, but then it'll become available to you after it's been completed. Now, the way to link the gifts from GivePlus with your people and Church360 members is kind of like you see in the movie when they're about to, launch a missile, where you have 2 keys. The 2 keys here is that you have to match up your givers and you have to match up your funds. And those are one-time things for each. So let's go to funds first, because that's easy. One synced fund that has come across, it's the general fund, like we saw before. And as I click on that line, I can see all of the funds that are in my Church360 members account. And I'll go over here and click General Fund and Link. All right, and I'm done. Now the next thing, and you can see in here, I can say, okay, 1 new unmatched fund, X out of that. Let's go find my 7 unmatched givers. I'll click Match. All right, that's going to take me to the screen that allows me to match givers. And what this does is it shows me the information that the giver in Vanco put in. Now we got Dave Abbott, Sally Baxter, Teresa Carter, and then a bunch of Peter Franks. Those are all my one-off transactions. So if somebody is setting up a recurring gift, they're going to show up in here once. It's the same giver giving regularly. And all I have to do is click on that line and say, all right, match this with the person. Now, chances are those who contribute electronically are going to put in their name. And if they're married, they're probably not going to put in their spouse's name too, because it just says first name. So you'll see Dave Abbott, and we're going to link that with Dave and Suzanne Abbott. They're a married couple who gives jointly. And all I do is click link. All right, now I'll do Sally Baxter and put her in. And there she is, and I'll click link. And then Teresa Carter, and I'll click, oops, I'll spell her without the H in her name, Teresa Carter, and I'll link her. And then we've got all these Peter Franks. Now, if you're getting one-time gifts, maybe the person forgot to sign in. That's okay. You can link multiple Vanco givers with the same person in Church360 members. So I won't do all of them, but I'll show you how that works. And that way, if they have not signed in and still have contributed, the gifts can be attributed to their record. All right, so I've linked these together. What this means, and this is the really cool part, is that any future gift that that giver gives to an already matched fund will automatically be applied to their record. You don't have to touch it again. The only time you have to do anything with this integration is if you get a new giver or if you get a new fund in there. And you're the one controlling when the funds show up in Vanco. So you already know that that's going to be something you sync. So this saves a ton of time because you're not having to go in every week and saying, all right, let me put in my electronic offerings. It does it automatically. You don't have to touch it again. And as you're using Church360 members for everything else it does, entering attendance and entering the offerings from the offering plate or the envelopes, if you see this little light up here that says, all right, new unmatched givers, just go click in there, match it, and you're done. So I'm going to go back over here to offerings. And you can see now that my electronic gifts are, for the ones that I had matched, are showing the lowercase because it's tying back to the person in Church360 members. And then my fund is showing up too. So now all of my reporting is accurate. And the next time I give or Dave and Suzanne give, it's just going to show up here and it's already going to be entered. So it's that simple. That integration is just a few minutes to show. I feel like sometimes I'm cheating because it goes so fast, but that's about it. Now, the great thing about using Church360 members with Church360 Unite is that integration of people. And so the people that log in here, their gifts are going into Vanco, their contact information is coming into Church360 Unite. And so you can have a member directory here on your website where you've got the people listed. Now these are different sites here, but you can see all the people that are listed. So first we used Unite to sync with Vanco. Then we use members to sync with Vanco. Now members and Unite, you don't have to set up an integration. When you buy those together, the integration happens seamlessly. There is no setup. The people show up. Not only that, but your calendars show up. So in Church360 members, you have your events calendar here with all your baptisms and your worship events and your fellowship events. This is where you take attendance. Those all show up on your website too. And so under news, you have a calendar. They are one and the same. So we started off this conversation talking about how technology, while extremely beneficial, can be a little bit scary, and setting up those integrations can kind of keep you from using them together if you're afraid of setting up the integration. Well, I hope that by showing this today, I have kind of calmed some of those fears and shown this is really easy to do. It only takes a few minutes. I've been walking through this step by step, and it's only taken, we're not even at 40 minutes yet. So I hope that encourages you to see how easy that is to do. Just a quick recap of what we've done today. First, we set up a giving page using Church360 Unite and embedded the electronic giving from GivePlus here on that page. And so there it shows up. So people have a designated site, a designated page on your website where they can go and give at any time. Then we showed how you can add that same giving form to a members only site or within the context of telling the story of your ministry where people are most likely eager to participate. And so you can go in here and add that donation right from that same page. Then we showed how you can take that and integrate it and sync up with Church360 members just by going over the settings and Vanco integration. It's a real quick setup. Sync your givers, and the offerings just automatically apply to their accounts. And from there, you can go and print contribution statements, and you're all set. And finally, we discussed how Church360 members and Church360 Unite are seamlessly integrated to provide a website experience that is contextualized for the members of your church. So they can see their profile information, they can see your church's member directory, they can see your church's calendar all in one place. And so as you use these together, it encourages the use of all three. So as people are logging into your website, they are seeing the online giving pages and the opportunities to give electronically, and they're participating in that. You're getting more of their information from their profile, so it's always up to date, and you just see these time savings after time savings occur. So I could go on all day. We've got some more things to talk about. Louis is going to talk about how this is just one of the many GivePlus options for providing for your members to give electronically. But there's other options, and they all sync with Church360 members. So, Louis, I think I've probably talked enough. I think it's your time to go in and dive into what GivePlus can provide, and then we'll take some questions afterwards.
Sure. Get yourself a drink of water there, Peter. Well
Thanks.
Yes, great job. I like this webinar because it answers so many questions that we commonly get, which is, how can I add giving to my website, right? Peter showed how seamless that was and how easy that is to do. And then one of the more common ones that we get as well is, do you integrate with my CHMS, right? And Peter showed you just how easy that was to do and be able to do that in a seamless way. And he was showing that for those online gifts that were made. And we wanted to make you aware of all the different capabilities that you have to be able to capture electronic giving with your church members that can all be integrated the exact same way. So not just for online, but if someone gave you a mobile, text, Kiosk, Swipe, or Sidekick, it would all come in the exact same way that you can then attach to those individual members. So obviously, Peter showed you the power of online and just how easy that was to set up all those different funds that you could then have set up reoccurring one-time gifts. Same capabilities exist for our GivePlus mobile app, one of our more popular ones, that when you sign up with Vanco, not only do you get online giving included, you also have a mobile app. So you could literally be taking donations this Sunday with a mobile app, have dedicated funds, set up reoccurring one-time gifts. It's very, very easy to do. Also, one of our favorite ones is GivePlus Text. We talk a lot about sort of this frictionless giving, and GivePlus Text is really the epitome of that, of being able to text a dollar amount to be able to have somebody give to your church, and you have a dedicated 10-digit phone number for your specific church. You can also have multiple funds in there as well. Kiosk is another one. You're probably familiar with those, interacting with an iPad at your church and having, again, different funds and different dollar amounts that you can allow people to give to. GivePlus Swipe is very similar to Square, if you're familiar with that, which you can plug that into a phone or a tablet and take those swipes or take those cards at a live event. So the example of Vacation Bible School, you might have people that had forgotten to pay or hadn't paid it in advance. You could actually take payments while they're dropping their children off at there. Just have that ready, and you can have people actually pay right there as well. Sidekick is our newest product, and this is a product that is a standalone that you can set a fixed dollar amount and literally just dip your credit card and take payments right through there. So you don't actually have to have somebody attend that. It can just sit in the back. We've had churches use it as, say, here's a $50 fixed dollar amount to contribute to our building fund, or we need a new roof or something like that. And you can have people literally just, it's in the back of the church, dip their credit card, and they can give that way as well. So a lot of possibilities, and we're happy to dive into any more of those in a one-on-one basis if you want a demonstration of any one of those. So really appreciate Peter being able to take people through just how simple it is to do that. And of course, the variety of ways in which you can collect electronic payments. So the last poll question that we want to ask, we want to make sure that we're following up with you in an appropriate manner based on what you saw today. And we want to have an understanding of what best describes your next steps after the webinar. So that leads us to our last poll question, which is what best describes your next steps? And you can select all that apply. And if you want to talk to a CTS software consultant about Church360, Unite, integrations, whatever the case might be, they are a great resource to utilize. Something that both of our companies really take pride in is our support, and our included support that we're just a phone call away, an email away to engage with us. And we are more than willing and able to be a part of any questions that you might have. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you want to view a demo of the eGiving products available, obviously Peter showed you online. I had the slide there of all the different product suites that we offer as well. Happy to go through an in-depth presentation that you one-on-one, or if you want to get your church committee together to be able to go through that, happy to do that as well. And we talk a lot about during the summertime where it's potentially a little bit slower at your church, depending on what you have going on, of getting started with electronic giving is a great time to do that as you're thinking about rolling it out to your church members, making sure you get the integrations correct on the back end with Church360, and you feel comfortable about that and be able to then communicate that to your members when they come back potentially in the fall and getting all your funds and everything like that the way that you want. Summer is a great time to do that as well. So we're happy to have those conversations with you as well. Or if you have no needs at this time, but thanks. Hopefully you saw some great features and functionalities as you're starting to think about how you could leverage technology within your church and really making it easy on your members to engage with your church. Giving is just one component of that, but a lot of what Peter showed, being able to tell the story of what your church is involved in, the missions that they're supporting, and the impact that they're trying to have on the community, website is a great way in which to communicate that, but doing that in a unified way through the church management software that Concordia provides is a great way to do it as well. So really appreciate everyone's engagement with not only the poll questions, but if you haven't asked a question, now is a great time to do so as well and make sure we get those addressed. So let me close out that poll and I'll share out our final slide here, which is if you do have questions, like we've said, Concordia and Vanco are really in sync with our pride in customer service and being just a phone call away. So Concordia, you can call them at 800-325-2399. You can always visit their website, concordiatechnology.org, as well as Vanco Payments at 800-675-7430. And we also have our website, GivePlus.com. So we'll jump into Q&A if you are ready, Peter, with some of the questions that we got lined up.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
All right. So I think this is sort of a combo one. So I'll take this one and then I'll pass it over to you if you have some additional ones to add. But this one is from Ava, and she wanted to know, does the church website need to be HTTPS, which is sort of the secure protocol for a website when embedded in an iframe to make them more secure? So I'll answer it from my side, Peter, and then feel free to address it on your side. But in order to have the embed iframe with GivePlus Online, it doesn't need to be an HTTPS site. However, what I would say from the perception of a member side of things, it's going to make it look more secure. If you go to your sort of browser and you have a secure page, it's going to say you might be in an unsecure location, right? Which can give the perception that it's not secure. But because it's coming from our iframe, it's obviously PCI level 1 compliant and it's secure, so there's no issues there. But it might have a perceived insecurity from your members that are coming to that site. So we definitely recommend going to HTTPS if possible. So Peter, do you have anything else to add on that one?
No, that's a great explanation. A little clarification on how Unite does it is if you are logged in as a member, it will change the URL to be your subdomain.church360unite, and all of those are SSL secured. If it's just under your domain, that is something that we can work with you and do it. It's rather expensive for a church when you consider the price of Unite, and so that's why we just do that on the back end for any member who is logged in and put our domain on there so that it gives you that same secure effect and impression without the cost associated with it. So we handle it a little bit differently, but like you said, because it's in the iframe, it is entirely secure no matter what. It's using Vanco security. So you kind of get the best of both worlds if you do it that way. But it's great relying on Vanco security so that you don't even have to worry about it.
Absolutely, right. And that comes completely included if you're a Vanco customer. You don't have to pay anything extra for security or compliance or anything like that. We handle that all on our side for you. The next question that we got was from Julie. She wanted to know how I can make the integration between Church360 and Vanco. And that's a great question. And all you have to do is call Vanco. If you call 800-675-7430, we'll give you the credentials in which to, like Peter showed on his screen, of where to plug that into. And then you have the integration, right? And then you can start tying in people's members' donations to their member profiles within Church360. It's really just that easy, but you need to contact Vanco to give you that web services credentials is what we call it. So if you call them and say, I'm looking to integrate with Church360 and I need my web credentials, web service credentials, they will take care of that for you. Anything else on that, Peter? I think that's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, and that's for Church360 members. For Church360 Unite or any other website, that embed code doesn't even require additional credentials. So
yeah,
just to clarify, that's for the integration with the gifts, with the church management software.
Awesome. Yep. All right, we did have a couple of sort of housekeeping items, making sure that we are recording this event. Absolutely, we are recording this event. Peter will make sure that the email gets sent out after the event. So if you do want to watch it again or share it, that you'll have the link in which to do so. So be on the lookout for that. The other question that we got, Peter, which was pricing, specifically around GivePlus and how is it priced. So I'm just going to drag over our website here so that people can see just how transparent we are about our pricing. So I'm just on GivePlus.com, and I say we're transparent about our pricing because we have this pricing tab listed right at the top of our screen there. So if you click on that, it'll take you to our pricing plans. So we have 3 different pricing plans based on the number of electronic donations that you think you would capture in a year. And so we have a monthly fee. And then if you select debit and credit cards, it's a percentage per transaction plus 45 cents per transaction underneath the start plan here. So how we like to explain that, if a member gives $100 via online or mobile or text, and you're on the start plan, 2.75% would come off plus 45 cents for the transaction, and the church would get the remainder. Now, a unique functionality that we have with our GivePlus solution is we have something that's called member offset fees. So within online or mobile, and in our GivePlus suite, you can choose to have a member offset fee option that when a donor is going through the donation process, they can check that box to choose a percentage that you choose to offset those fees. So you could choose 2.5%, 3%, whatever the case might be, and they will have an additional 3% on the top of their donation. So the church can get their full recognized value of, say, that $100, and then the member would also get recognized for their full donation at the end of the year as well. So I think that's a great benefit that a lot of churches take advantage of. And when you sign up for any one of our plans, you not only get online giving, but you also get mobile giving with our mobile app. You have a dedicated giving coach, really that support aspect to help you launch electronic giving and help you communicate with your members. You have 24/7 based US support. We like to tout that someone goes home with the cell phone at the end of each day here. So in case emergency does come up, we do have you covered. And data security and compliance, which we touched on, it was something that we take very seriously as well. So I recommend going to giveplus.com, and if you have any questions about our pricing, feel free to navigate there. We got online chat. If you do want to engage with us, we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, hopefully that answers some of those questions that we got around pricing. The next question we have is from Bethany. Bethany says, does the giving form offer capabilities for a memo field if the member doesn't know which fund to use? So in GivePlus Online, I don't believe we have a memo field, but we also have a hosted giving page. So if it's something that you don't have or don't want to have an embed experience on your website, we can actually host a giving page for you. There we can have a little memo field for you. So there is a little bit of different functionality from our GivePlus Online embed versus our GivePlus Online hosted version, and happy to walk you through those differences, Bethany, as well, if that's something you're interested in. All right, so I think that was the majority of the questions that I saw, Peter, unless there's anything else that you wanted to share with our audience today.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you've got them all covered, and if there's any questions on pricing or anything with our products, that website address is right there, and our team is happy to talk with you as well.
Absolutely, yes. So the final ask that I have of you today is, after you're leaving, you'll see a 3-question post-webinar survey pop up. And that's something we take very seriously, is the feedback on the events. We're going to make sure that we're making these as valuable for your time as possible, and really want to incorporate your feedback in future events. So if you want to take just a minute as you're leaving the event today, when that pops up, that would be extremely helpful. And thank you so much. And a special thanks for everyone for attending today. We know taking an hour out of your day is asking a lot, and we truly appreciate it. And feel free to give us a call if you have any questions after the event, or visit our websites. We are here to help support you and answer any questions that you have. So a special thanks to Peter for a fantastic presentation today. Thanks so much, Peter, for being able to show all those capabilities. I know you're just sort of scratching the surface of all the things that are underneath that. So thanks so much for diving into that. And of course, you, our audience, for making the time today. So hope everyone has a great afternoon, and hope to see you on future events. Thanks, everyone.